Rock and roll may live forever, but we only retire once. Kevin Lamour of Our Financial Plans and Quadris Investment Services offers a large range of financial solutions from some of the biggest leaders in the investment and insurance landscape of Canada. See how a solid financial plan built with friendly and professional advice can help. Find out more at ourfinancialplans.ca or give them a call at 705-949-1316. Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Lonesome Cowboy podcast. And today I have some different guests for you, where I usually have DIY artists who are doing their own everything, like myself. But this time, because I'm a Rush fan and saw them once, and I wanted to have these guys on because they are putting on Rushfest in August, and it's happening at Massey Hall and
TD Music Hall.
TD Music Hall. And on the line today, I have Steve Brown, and we are waiting for Paul to show up here. They're busy guys, so they're getting slammed with
Paul.
press and stuff like that. So thanks for coming, Steve. Paul will be here shortly.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Brian.
Excellent. I know you're the founder of Rushfest in Scotland. How did the idea I don't know if it was a co-idea between you and Paul, or did you just say, hey, let's do a Rush Festival, or is it something that you're kind of into already? Like, where does that come from?
Well, I've met Paul. Well, as you mentioned, I'm in Scotland. Paul's in Toronto. We first hooked up through our mutual love of Rush in 2012. And that's around about the same time as in fact, it was 2013, 2014 when I began Rushfest Scotland. And that started because there's another Rush fan festival in England, believe it or not. Rush were big enough in the UK to have fan festivals every year. The English one, well, it was UK-wide at that time, but then I played in a Rush tribute band, Moving Pictures. We were asked to play that fan festival that year, and the organizer said it would never happen in Scotland again. So that set off a light bulb to me, and I thought, well, why don't I do one in Scotland every year? And we have done for the last 12 years or so, and it's just grown. It's now a 3-day festival. People come from all over the world, and all profit goes to charity. And to date, we've donated over $250,000 Canadian to cancer charities.
Yes.
All thanks to the generosity of Rush fans. So Paul Beaulieu has been to every one bar one of the Rushfest Scotland. So we become good buddies. He's always helped us out. He has connections with the band and the crew. So he helped to bring across VIPs such as Terry Brown, Hugh Syme, Neil Peart's sisters. This year we had Alex's sister, Sally Zivojevic, came over. So it just got to the stage where, like, well, let's take it back home. Let's do one in Canada. And let's do Massey Hall. Can't stop thinking big, to quote a Neil Peart lyric.
Yeah, right.
And so there we go. So yeah, we have experience of doing it in the UK, and then we're going to bring it bring it back home.
And there's Paul has arrived. Paul, how you doing? We got started. We thought you might have been a bit more busy there.
Yeah, well, I was just finishing up another one, so I didn't want to be totally rude and say gotta go. So I said Steve said he'll jump in.
By all means, don't worry about that. I mean, I figured I told Steve we'll get started and Paul can come in whenever he wants. And you're just about there for question number 2. How's that? We only had one question.
There we go.
Yeah. Excellent. By the way, Steve, what do you play?
I play guitar.
Oh, you're a guitar player. Okay.
I've been a professional guitarist for over 30 years, mainly just pubs and clubs and weddings. That's what paid the bills. But I've done Rush tribute. It started off as a hobby, 2-3 gigs a year with friends. But in the last 2 or 3 years, I've now got the lineup that is like myself, can gig full time. So the Rush tribute band is now my full time job.
Yeah.
With occasional other gigs with other bands and on my own.
Good stuff.
And so yeah, it's mainly guitar. Well, it is guitar in Moving Pictures.
Yeah. So Paul and Steve, there's not too many bands that can have their own festivals, are there? I think Kiss might have tried it, but good old Gene probably screwed that up with all his monetization that he does.
Yeah, yeah.
So and I think Rush is Canada's greatest export. So what is it about Rush that makes them able to fill a 2 day or more festival?
True. Well, it's the fans, isn't it? It's all down to the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fans have become a family. I mean, Paul, you saw them 115 times?
114 notes.
114, which is ridiculous.
No kidding.
I know. Brian was saying he caught them once when they played. So what town was it they came to?
1977, the Farewell to Kings tour in Sault Ste. Marie.
Sault Ste. Marie, yeah, okay.
Very poorly attended, and I got hit in the shoulder with Neil Peart's drumstick.
Oh, that's an honor.
As it came through the smoke from the flash pots.
Oh, just well didn't take your eye out. That'll be another good story.
Yeah, I look at it that way, but yeah, I remember going.
That's like being knighted, right? You're knighted.
No kidding.
You've been knighted.
Rush knight. Yeah.
Supposed to be a farewell to kings. But anyway, very good, very good.
I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that they're Canadian fans and we're just so nice, so that's why we kind of like to get together and have fun. That kind of thing. I'm not sure.
All the fans over here there's only a handful of Canadians come over to the fan festivals here. Rush played the UK a lot. Dare I say it, more than Saint Marie?
Probably. Yes, I would agree.
That's why they built up a really great fan base in the UK and Europe. So that justified us. But Paul, you were involved in RushCon.
RushCon, that was one of the first big fan festivals. And it ran from 2001 to 2016. And we would get 200-300 people out every year. And it expanded from a single day to a multi-day fan festival.
Cool.
But I think the reason behind it, the same with Steve's Rushfest Scotland, which is well attended and a 3-day event now, is Rush fans are we almost rabid? I would almost say we're almost rabid. It's like it's
that's a good word. I like that.
Yeah, Rush fans are Rush fans. I got interviewed when Rush got they found out they're going to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. CBC came to my house and actually interviewed me, and they asked something, and I was on with who was the big guy from CBC, the anchor? Oh, I can't remember his name, but anyway, they asked me, okay, what's Rush? I go, well, there's no part-time Rush fans. You're either a huge Rush fan or you're not a Rush fan, right? There's no part-time Rush fans. And they quoted that on the news, right? So,
I love it.
So, I mean, that's the one line I've always used just because I don't know where it came from, but it just came out and
that's awesome.
And they loved it and put it out. So I was on the national. Yeah, that's our big news that goes across Canada, right? So
true.
Thanks to Rush, I've been on the national. Yeah.
The last few years, I started to go overseas to see them from 2010. I've only seen them 15 times in total in my life, but obviously I would have tried to see more if I could.
Sure.
But the shows became, I would say, 50% of actually going to the show was the show itself, and an equal amount, another 50% would be the family element. Meeting friends and creating new friends and carrying on those friendships for decades. Is what's happened with me and Paul. And there's a family community thing going on. That's why we can do these fan conventions, festivals, call them what you will. There are quite a few around the globe. Yep.
There's people that have met because of Rush and got married.
I've heard that stories before.
We know. One couple's coming from Scotland to Massey Hall. We know. Shout out to George and Pamela. Yep. All came across for that wedding. That was
I was staying in a castle. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Didn't get haunted. I was wondering if I was going to get haunted, but I managed.
I played a farewell to Kings. I was playing guitar for them during the service, and as a guest for waiting, I just played a few guitar Rush riffs on the classical guitar.
Yeah, that's awesome. So listen, guys, just a shot in the dark. Is it possible that any of the Getty or Alex might pop in and say hi?
No. That's it. We have to state that right away. We have to
unequivocally.
We're pulling no rule over anybody's eyes. This is a Rush fan event. They know about it. The lawyers know about it, and we're making very clear because we don't want people to come along with that impression.
Right.
This is a Rush fan event. We have their blessing. They're giving us items for the auctions and raffles. Their family members are coming, and we'll be getting on.
Yes, that was fantastic.
Paul will be chatting to them, as well as Terry Brown and Hugh Syme. But for Alex and Geddy, like I say, there are a few of these events going on every year. And as much as they maybe want to get involved and say hi or whatever, it's like, if they do it for one, they have to do
Gotta do it for everybody. And that's exactly what I was thinking. So
they've already given us so much. So, yeah.
I thought I'd give you the opportunity to say no.
Yes, exactly. You have to say it's a Rush fan event. Yes, a fan.
There you go.
Yeah.
So with this lineup, you have some interesting musicians. I can't remember his first name. Moon was the last name.
Jacob.
Oh, Jacob. Yeah.
I'm leery. I'm one of those Rush fans. Somebody does a cover, and I'm like, And but then I heard, what was he doing? Subdivisions.
Yeah.
I went, oh,
yeah.
And I'm a solo acoustic player, and I went, holy hockey puck.
Yeah.
Like, so have you ever seen Jacob do any of his own work? Or?
No, I just watched him do that one song.
He's got about at least 10 original albums out.
No kidding.
The guy is one of the loveliest guys on the planet. We brought him over a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And well, as you might know, he's like an acoustic guitar.
Loops. He does a lot of looping, right?
Cover artist, and he uses a looper pedal system. And he's got an album, or at least one, maybe two albums of various covers. And so it was Subdivisions that went viral 2008, I think it was, when he did a version recorded on a rooftop in Toronto on YouTube, and that brought him to the Rush community. And the darling of the Rush community ever since. He's played for Geddy and
awesome.
So
good for them.
He's going to be playing for us on the Friday night and the Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. That's cool. So with this kind of interesting take on Rush songs, who are some of the other artists that are maybe showing up for this festival, and what kind of that have interesting takes on it? Do we have any others other than?
Yeah, we have a guy named Adi Berg who rewrote Red Sector A, just a haunting version of it. His father was liberated from the concentration camps when he was 12 years old. Wow. He went into German barracks and took a violin with him. So the whole thing is that we're going to have a special violin player that's going to play that actual violin that was taken from the German camps, right? And Jacob's going to be singing the version Red Sector A. It's unbelievable. The first time I heard it, I did the best I can not to just cry. It was just so good. It's like Steve's going to do After Image. They're going to do their version of After Image, another haunting version of it. That's, it'd be hard to see if there's a dry eye in the house. So that's going to be cool. We got Jonathan Dinklage. I don't know if you remember Clockwork Angels and the String Ensemble.
No.
So he was one of the members of the String Ensemble, and our 40 tour, he ended up playing Losing It at quite a few shows when Ben Mink wasn't available. He's going to come over. He's his brother is kind of famous. His brother's short on stature, but not short on on notoriety. His brother's Peter Dinklage, who played Tyrion on the game.
Oh, that guy! I was reading that in the press, and I'm going, I wonder if they're related, and I guess they are.
Yeah. That's
outstanding.
Chris Herron, another guy who played in a band called the Tiles from the U.S.
Yeah,
and the Tiles, all albums were produced by Terry. Hugh Syme's played on it. Alex has played on it. Kim Mitchell's played on it. Delana Miles. So, I mean, his background is huge. He opened up for Dream Theater in Europe one year. And so he's going to come out as a guest musician also. And and Nina I can never say it. Nina Di
Gregorio.
Yeah. Di Gregorio. Yeah, there we go. And she's another amazing violinist that Alex actually pointed out to us that, you got to get her. She's unbelievable. And she'll play YYZ and Limelight, and she plays a solo on a violin that is so exacting sound that you think you're listening to the guitar, right? So
that's a crazy.
We got some cool people coming out that are going to add some highlights to the whole evening here.
That's neat. I have, as a musician, and Steve can probably relate, Rush fans have a religious zeal about how their Rush music is performed. And I remember when I was a teenager and, trying to learn that kind of stuff. And of course, I had a couple of guys, other fellow guys playing guitar, musicians, and they would say, no, that's not the same. It's not the same. You got to get it right. Got to get that right. Got to get it right.
Yeah.
Do those hardcore fans, are they still there, or are they really open to those? I
Oh
suppose if
yeah,
they're really good, they're total to those covers, I guess, eh?
yes, that's the thing. I When you get so close to the songs to learn them, to perform them live, um, I can't personally get too self-critical, because then I would basically I've gigged it enough. We get I just keep thinking, well, if I get rebooked and more people come to see us, we're doing something right.
There you go.
It's just
Yeah.
being your own worst critic. But then, and I mean this with the greatest of respect, the guys themselves dropped the ball a few times. Dare I say it? When they were interviewed recently by, is it George Strombo?
George Strombo.
George Strombo, yeah, Strombo,
Yes.
yeah.
Strombo, yeah.
When the Moving Pictures reissue came out a few years ago, and as a bonus, they included a never released, previously released live show from, I think it was 1980 or 81. And George asked Alex and Geddy what they thought when they listened back to that old performance, and they said all they can hear were the clams. Every now they couldn't hear the whole performance. All they heard was like, oh, clam. Little mistakes that maybe no one else would hear, but they
clam, I love it.
They'll let themselves down. So yeah, and it's maybe not very nice to say, but because the guys kind of were okay putting that kind of stuff out, I don't cut myself up too much when I know I've dropped a note or whatever, and the fans that do come out to see us are very forgiving.
That's good.
Nice. And there are other tribute bands, and there are quite a lot of Rush tribute bands out there, each to varying degrees of skill.
Sure.
And it depends. I mean, and technology these days, but even in Alex's day, when they were gigging, you could. I use a modeler, a profiler system, the Kemper, and I got the capacity. There's 28,000 rigs available online. I could, if I wanted to, find the amp that Alex used on each album. So when I'm playing that song off that album, I'll use that amp.
Sure. Yeah.
But Alex never did that. He would have his amp set up for that tour, and he'd find a good range of sounds using those amps for that each tour.
Interesting.
I've gone down that route. And I'm now actually, my main overdriven sound is from the 1977 Farewell to Kings tour, when he was using 100-watt high watts.
Nice.
I love
those.
I love that sound. So my main set is based around that overdriven sound.
There you go.
Plus, of course, he's in Flanders and fun there. So yeah, it depends how deep we have the technology, but it just depends. You want consistency across the whole evening. Without the guitar tones changing it, because you might as well, if you want perfection, listen to the studio albums.
There you go. Well, that's cool. Now listen, it's interesting because you're wearing a Cavern t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't wear my Cavern t-shirt. My son brought me one when he went to visit the Cavern. And that brings, of course, my thought about two Beatles tribute bands. And then, of course, that brings me to Rush tribute bands. And I know for Beatles people, we like them to look like them.
Yeah.
What do you guys what are your personal thoughts, and do the tribute bands go for the look, or they just say no, we want to concentrate on the music?
Some do, but it's a personal thing, isn't it? We don't. Although our Geddy does happen to, he's gonna got a Geddy look about him. Whether or not that's deliberate or not, but he's always
got the little goatee and the round glasses and that.
But it's not something that's not his stage clothes. That's what he looks like normally.
That's just what he looks like. Yeah.
He hasn't, So I think Geddy's influenced him for the last 40 years anyway. That's just how he's come out. Whereas I just go on looking. Well, I'll let the hair out. I look like this. It's usually jeans and t-shirt and get on with it.
And away you go.
There are some bands out there that will go. Some of the Alex. I mean, we'll say that now and again. I'll put on the black and white plaid shirt, which I think Alex wore for one show. So now and again, that's as far as I'll go. I'm not going to dye my hair blonde, and and we've got a female drummer, so she's not,
Nice.
And Nancy,
she doesn't have as good a mustache as Neil. Yeah.
Although we did get fake. We play 2112 at 2112 on 2112 in Edinburgh every year.
Get out.
It's like Hogmanay for Rush. It's like Rush, Christmas and New Year's all put together for
No
Rush.
kidding.
Grown men cry. Every year we try and make it a little bit different. Last time we did it, we actually handed out 300 fake mustaches at the door. So we'd already played like 2 sets before 2112. So we came on at 2112. By that point, we asked everyone. So I looked up, and the whole front row, everyone was wearing these fake black mustaches, including Jamie behind me on the drum kit. We did put on. So yes, I'm going back on myself here. We did wear kimonos for that gig.
Yeah.
But that's just like Christmas. Let's have some fun, including the audience. You guys get into it as well, So
That's awesome.
As a general rule, I kind of frown upon. It depends on the act. Like you say, for Beatles, it's kind of given they're going to dress or go through.
Yeah.
For Rush, I think that detracts from. You're there to see and no disrespect to 4 or 5 piece Rush tributes. They're all brilliant. They're all doing a great job.
Sure.
But if you're seeing a 3 piece, just be yourselves, guys and girls. If you're doing it, I think just if you're going to wear wigs and stuff, that's not what Rush is about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're the same way, Paul. You feel the same way. You go see the band just for playing the music well.
Yeah. I have to admit, when I first started seeing tribute bands, like I said, I used to help run RushCon, which was a big fan convention in Canada, and we get some tribute bands in, and I was really critical. I expected note by note and especially, God forbid, the poor drummer. Like, I mean, I'm a drummer, so I'd be watching the drummer going, "Oh, Jesus, he's not even close," right? Stuff like that. But then I just learned to loosen up and appreciate the fact that people are trying to do it. I'm not a pro expert at it either. And then and then I just learned to just relax and enjoy their efforts of the song. And they were fellow Rush fans. So you just kind of just went with it, right? I mean, everybody's trying to be there to listen to Rush, and this is your effort. Good. Yeah. Exactly. But I was critical at first. Yeah, I have to admit.
Now, you guys, you seem to be doing this really right from the outside, just from a guy that's 700 kilometers away from you and the event. The optics are beautiful because you have the families involved, and you're donating to Sunnybrook for cancer research. And of course, I'm sure that's pretty close to all the Rush fans and everything else, considering.
Yeah. And that. Oh, sorry. Yep.
Go ahead. No, keep going.
Well, that one came about because Rush one time got one of their 285,000 lifetime achievement awards, and they won 25,000 for it. Or no, it was 40,000, and they doubled it and donated to. It used to be called the Gord Downey Brain Cancer Research Fund at some.
Oh, okay.
But after 4 or 5 years or whatever it was, maybe even 10 years, they just dropped the Gord Downey part. But that's the reason I think I kind of picked this one. Steve picks up the charities in Scotland, and they're always cancer. So I kind of went with this one just because, it's one that Rush did contribute to, and also it was Gord Downey before, so another Canadian icon. So we figured, what better spot to give it to than Sunnybrook, who's one of the top research and top hospitals period in Canada, right? So
exactly. Steve, do you when you have the fests in Scotland, do you also do donations to the cancer research there in the country?
Yeah, it's we tend to change the charity every 2 or 3 years. It's always a cancer-based. It was actually inspired by a friend of mine who's now sadly gone, taken by cancer. It was a girl who I was in a band with. We formed a rock band back in the 80s. And then we went our separate ways, but then we got back, we found each other again, and we reformed the band. We did one gig, and a month after our first gig, she was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer.
Oh, jeez.
And she passed away about 3 years later, only age 49. So rest in peace, Auntie.
Right.
So I always asked her to pick the charity. So in my mind, it would always be a cancer related charity in Scotland.
Good stuff.
Our latest one is fundingneuro.com, which is research into brain cancer as well, etc.
Yeah,
you did the teenage cancer. What was that?
Teenage cancer.
Yeah. That was close to Getty's heart, and that's the year Getty gave us a a baseball signed by the whole band the night they got inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Nice.
So it had RRHOF 13 and it had Alex Getty and Neil on there. And I brought that over to auction off. And the funny story there is, I guess I fell asleep when I woke up. The stewardess said, "You got a death grip on that thing." She goes, "I was going to move it so you didn't drop it." She goes, I couldn't move it. I said, "No." So this thing's worth a lot of money. So
yeah.
I said,
Yeah, don't you?
And that raises a lot. That raises a lot of money that year. I think it raises about £3,000.
Wow.
But what we do is sort of big items like that. We'll put them do an online worldwide auction. It's more like a raffle. So like for $5 a ticket, all the money goes to the charity directly, and they get a number in the raffle, and then we draw it at the event. And as it turned out, the winner was in the room. He paid $20 for it, and he got the ball. He still has it. What was his name again? Richard Scott. So if you listen to this, every year we keep asking for it back. Come on, give it back to us. Put it back in, But he says, no, the dog's still playing with it, man. So it's... but that brought in over £3,000 that year for the charity on its own. But the winner only paid $20 for it. So we found that's a good way to so anyone can win it without having to,
And we got Getty's brother Alan to pick the number.
Oh, even better. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The artists that you guys have at the festival coming up, are they new to the Rush fans? Is this they're going to see somebody new, or are they familiar with these guys? And is this any of the artists? Is their first Rush festival?
I think this will be Nina's first Rush festival. Nina de Gregorio and her I think it's her husband, Brody Doluni.
Yeah, Brody, yeah.
She's in a band called Femmes of Rock.
Femmes of Rock, yeah. They're very popular. They have residency in Vegas.
Wow.
And she's got 4 girls that are not overly unattractive that play violins and electric violins and cellos. And they play Van Halen, they play ZZ Top, Rush, they play all sorts of rock, and they're very, very popular. So, but yeah, it was Alex who actually pointed it out, wrote to me to say, listen to this. And she can replicate like Alex's solo in Limelight and YYZ and all that stuff perfectly on the violins. So
this will be her first.
Her be the first. The rest of them, I think, are all pretty well. David Barrett, he's worked with Crownlands and he's worked with Alex.
Oh, Crownlands, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, he's been there. Jacob, you mentioned. Jonathan, of course, he played with Rush, so I think he's been exposed to them. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And on the Saturday, I have to give a shout out to the Canadian Rush tributes that are playing. Permanent Waves, who great bunch of guys. Andy Narsing, they're Getty. He's come to Scotland a few times. Him and his wife have been supporters of Rushfest Scotland.
Cool.
And when Moving Pictures played in Brazil last year at Rushfest Brazil, our Getty couldn't make it. So I just gave Andy a call in Toronto, and within 10 minutes he went, I'm doing it. So it's
just hop on a plane down to Brazil, eh?
You're making the connections, right? I'll meet you in Brazil. Let's play to 1,500 Brazilians some Rush together. That was an incredible experience.
I can only imagine those Brazilian audiences are just massive, and they move in one giant. Blah.
This is it. But that's the thing. The Russian Rio DVD has become, Rush themselves didn't realize how big a fan base they have in South America.
Yeah, and the drummer for Permanent Waves is Dave Lenga, who plays with Kim Mitchell currently.
Oh, okay.
He's also played with Street Heart and
Nickelback.
What's that?
Nickelback, Nelly Furtado.
He's subbed in for Nickelback too. Yeah, Street Heart.
A friend of mine is on the guitar player.
A
friend of mine is the guitar player for Street Heart.
What's his name?
Neil. Jeff Neil. Yeah.
So when I was
from Sault Ste. Marie.
When I first started, I was playing in a band in Winnipeg, and we would always open up for Street Heart when they came. They played Winnipeg quite a bit, so I got to know the guys really well, including I met Matt Fournette recently because he was played with Loverboy. Left him and Spider left for Loverboy. Yeah. But I was good friends with them because we played with them all the time, and sometimes if their drummer couldn't make it, I knew all the songs, so I'd sub in and play with it. So Street Heart was one of my favorite bands, and so Dave's a monster drummer and respected by everybody. 2112, another band coming from Hamilton, and they're great and they're so supportive. Like they're
and 2112 are going to play the full All the World's a Stage set.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
That's going to be the Saturday in this smaller TD music hall, but it's still within the Massey Hall building, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for Steve now because he's Scottish. So we got violins playing Rush music. We got
I know where this is going. Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
you know what I'm going. Yeah, because
shit.
those girls, you've seen the girls on the internet, you know, in their nice little Scottish outfits, and they're playing rock music and metal and stuff like that. Steve, is there a bagpipe Rush tribute somewhere?
You've thrown me the gauntlet now. That's my homework for next time. Yeah. Wow.
You know what, Steve? I'll get your email from Eric, and I will send you when I find those girls.
I know which one you're talking about.
You know the ones I'm talking about. They're redhead.
And they're not terribly unattractive either. Yeah.
So they play rock music on bagpipes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they draw big crowds. Yeah.
And there's two girls that play the harp too.
Yeah.
Have you seen the two girls that play the harp?
Yeah, I know.
They're unbelievable too. They do Rush songs. Like they're playing Rush on the harp, and they're amazing. Yeah.
There is a band over here called the Red Hot Chili Pipers. But they are incredible. They headline festivals over here, regular festivals, and they play Queen. They play heavy rock music on the bagpipes. I don't know if Rush is in their set yet. We'll work that one out. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Something to shoot.
It was YYZ on the bagpipes, you know. We did one year, Paul, if you remember. Did he play it? Remember the little guy in the Dreadnought in Bath?
The Dreadnought, yeah.
Lewis. His name was Lewis. First time we brought Terry Brown over, 2016. The actual interview room was one level up, and so everybody was sitting up there waiting for Terry. So we got Terry piped in. So this young guy, tiny little guy with a full regalia on, starts up the pipes down, and he walks up the stairs, and Terry Brown's behind him. Terry didn't have a clue what was going on. The grin on his face, everybody was cheering. He's like, "Wow, that's never happened to me before." But I'm sure Lewis did work out YYZ. He played YYZ
I think he was playing
on the pipe. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I'll track down Lewis and get him to record that for you.
There you go.
I got a quick question for you. You said you're 700 kilometers, 700 miles
from Toronto. Yeah, 700
kilometers.
Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh, the Sioux. Okay.
Yeah, the Sioux.
Yeah, we had somebody mentioned the Sioux earlier in the interview, right?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
They saw Rush for the first time and only time was in Sault Ste. Marie. Yeah.
That's Brian.
That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, poorly attended. They never came back again. That was the worst part.
That's what he said. Yeah.
It's only our third interview today, Paul.
That's all.
Yeah,
that's all.
I forget to mention who else is from the Sioux. They're one of their best exports ever, I guess.
Well, Phil Esposito, Tony Esposito. What else do you want? Ron Francis, Wayne
Gretzky.
Hang on now. He's he's lost a little favor here with his latest political alignment.
Yes, you're quite right. I used to buy some of his wine, and I actually don't buy it anymore. And I asked
you brought some of that over here one year, and it was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh no, honestly.
Scotch, yeah.
Was it Scotch or bourbon or something? It was like, oh my, you actually brought that over in your carry. What the deuce were you doing with that stuff, man? Oh,
I put my head down. Yeah.
Okay, my last couple of minutes here, guys. Okay. Steve Brown, Paul Beaulieu.
Yeah,
I'm doing with the French accent, eh?
That's good. That wasn't bad. Yeah.
Beaulieu.
Anyways, maintenant, Carlos.
My French accent. Well done.
Anyways, thank you guys for coming on the program, and tell folks all about Rushfest in these last few minutes, and tickets and where it's happening and anything else they want to find out.
Go, Paul.
Sure. Well, August 1st, Massey Hall. August 2nd, TD Music Hall, which is a new building in the back of Massey Hall. Tickets and information can be found at rushfestcanada.ca. And so we have like a little poster designed by Hugh Syme, and we have a list of the people for each day. And a little blurb below it, pointing out their websites and so on. And we have a link for the tickets. Tickets are through Massey Hall. So the link just takes you right to Massey Hall for the Friday or for the Saturday. That's where you can get that. And we're always posting new information. I'm going to be doing an auction pretty soon because I have guitars signed by the boys and Big Wreck. So the whole band signed out. Billy Talent, Terry's other half's daughter's married to the lead singer, so that worked out pretty good. Yeah, because they usually don't, they're usually kind of like picky, but no, we got that signed. Rick Emmett signed a guitar for me. We're working on Kim Mitchell
You
And
talked to all these
just
guys I've interviewed, Rick Emmett and Kim Mitchell and Jeff Neal.
there you go. Yeah. Rick's a great guy, eh?
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, so is Kim. Just,
Yeah.
don't
Oh, they
leave
all
it
are.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
fantastic, guys. And folks, if you can go there, get there because man, it's looking cool. And just for that Jacob Moon, like, oh my God, that sound. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, now I want to hear all the Rush songs like this.
Yeah, exactly. But you honestly check out Jacob's solo.
I will.
He's
Yeah,
got
by
at
all
least 10
means.
albums out. The guy is one of the nicest guys on the planet and a phenomenal singer-songwriter. Yep.
Excellent. All right,
Great.
gentlemen. Well, thank you so much for coming on the program, and we greatly
Thank you.
appreciate it. And best of luck. I'll be watching.
Thank you, Brian. Cheers,
Sounds
man.
good. Yeah.